Right now, you probably have a physique in mind that you're trying to achieve. And for that, you need a good diet. But living at home with family, it just seems impossible to stick to this diet. Every night, your mom cooks a really tasty dinner for the family, but unfortunately, you have no idea what she's put into it, and it's impossible to track the calories and macros. Every cupboard you open in the house is filled with snacks, chocolate bars, and biscuits for when guests come over. Your siblings are always coming into your room and offering you a Kit Kat bar. And now, the temptations to cheat on your diet are higher than ever. You try your best to stick to the diet by meal prepping and weighing out your food, but your family just ask you, why are you doing all this? And they give you funny looks. You don't have to meal prep. There's leftover dinner, you know, they say. You laugh it off because you know your fitness goals are more important. But unfortunately, the longer this persists and the more time you spend in the kitchen, the more you're surrounded by unhealthy processed temptations, which eventually create an irresistible craving to the point where you cave, you fold, and you binge. And just like that, all of your diet progress is lost and you find yourself in a trap where you just can't seem to stick to the diet while living at home with other people, with family members. How the hell do you then achieve your diet goals in this situation? Surely it would be easier if you just lived alone and you bought all your own food and you could weigh out all your own meals. Yes, that would be easier, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to make a transformation living at home. I made a very respectable fat loss transformation living at home, surrounded by people who aren't interested in health and fitness and bodybuilding like I am. So in this video, I'll give you 12 major tips that have helped me. Now, these tips are kind of in order. I'm gonna start with the most important first. I'm not gonna do the classic YouTube thing where it's like, oh, well, the most important at the end just to get my watch time up. No. I respect your time, so I'll put the most important ones I think you should do first, and then all the sort of minor little details towards the end of the video. That said, make sure you actually watch to the end because, bro, I'm trying to get my watch time up. Like, I need to get paid off YouTube, right? So help me out here, bro. This video will also be from the point of view of somebody looking to lose a bit of weight, looking to lose a bit of fat and they're trying to diet. That said though, everything here will still apply if you're trying to bulk up. So you can take these tips regardless of what phase you're in, whether it's fat loss, bulking, or anything in between. There's 12 tips here, which may be a bit overkill, so just pick and choose the most relevant ones, the ones that resonate with you the most. If you don't know who I am, my name's Omar. I'm prepping for a photo shoot. I'm currently 27 days out. I'm trying to get lean as a bean. So I've lost a substantial amount of fat. I've successfully dieted living at home, and I've done it with these 12 tips, with the first one being, let your family know your goals. Voice it out to them that you're currently in a diet and you're trying to lose a bit of weight. Make sure though, that when you voice it to them, that they actually listen. Don't just mention it in passing. Don't just say like, oh, by the way, mom, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. No. Make sure you actually say it straight up to her face and make sure that your family members understand and hear it, because they don't have an interest in fitness. And so if you say it in passing, it will probably just go over their head, or they won't really take it as serious. And so you got to make sure that you say it clearly and you let them know like, hey guys, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight, so I'm going to be, doing things a bit differently now. Now, when you do this, make sure you also mention a time frame. Tell them that for the next 3 months, guys, I'm going to try and lose a bit of weight. Make it clear that it's not going to be forever, and that the way you're going to be, behaving and acting, which I'll explain in further points later, is only temporary. You're not going to be meal prepping and resisting with these temptations and whatnot forever. Like, let them know it's only temporary, that you're going to be in this phase because you have some important goals. Now, additionally, there's one other thing you really need to mention, and that is that this goal is really important to you. You need to say, you can even say this exact phrase, you can even quote me here and say this: I'm trying to lose 5 kilos in the next 12 weeks or whatever it is you're trying to do, and it's really important to me. That's the part you want to include. Make sure you let them know that it's important to you. Now, you may get some pushback. You know what moms are like. Moms will give us the classic like, oh, son, you're not fat. You don't need to lose fat, son. You're already lean enough. Obviously, they don't really understand. They don't see what you're trying to do. So you may get some pushback. The key when you get pushback is don't go on the defense. Don't be like, oh, I need to lose weight. I need to get in this calorie deficit. I need to get lean. No, just be passive. Be nice about it and be like, yeah, maybe you guys are right. Maybe I don't need to lose some weight, but let me just try it. Let me just experiment. And this is where you can circle back around to reminding them that it won't be forever. So you can say something like, yeah, let me just experiment, for the next 12 weeks, I'll just try and reduce my food a little bit and see what happens. Make sure you keep a friendly attitude and make sure that you get your family members who aren't interested in health and fitness as much on your side as possible. You don't want to create enemies here. You don't want to tell them like, hey guys, I'm going to lose weight. Like, stop fucking buying snacks, you fucking bitches. Don't say that. But you get what I'm saying. Tip number 2, identify what your family do that works against your goals and politely ask them how important those things are to them. If they are not that important, politely ask them to cut those things out and stop doing them. Remind them that your diet is temporary and it won't be like this forever. So firstly, identify what it is going around the house that stops you, what gets in the way of your diet goals. For me, I'll give a very specific example. My mom likes dark chocolate, and she likes to leave dark chocolate out, just laying on the side, so that when she walks by, she can just take a little bit and keep it moving. And so I identified that was a trigger for me. Every time I would walk past it, I'd grab a little bit. So I then asked her, I said, Mom, how important is it that you leave this dark chocolate out? Like, do you really need to leave it out? Or could you just put it in the cupboard and then when you want some, you go and get some? And I said it to her in a very polite way. And I didn't ask her to stop leaving the dark chocolate out. I asked, how important is it that she leaves it out? And then she replied saying, yeah, you know what? It's not that important that I leave it out. No worries, Omar, I'll put it in the cupboard. And just like that, I was able to eliminate an obstacle. Diesel, stop barking. I was able to eliminate an obstacle that got in the way of my fat loss goals. Another example is ask your family members to exclude you off the list when they go out and buy snacks. So let's say your brother's coming back from work and he's stopping by the bakeries and he puts a message in the family group chat, hey guys, who wants brownies? Just let him know, no thanks, not me. Or just let him know, like, if you guys are gonna buy treats for the house, then please exclude me because I have these fat loss goals that are really important that I'm trying to achieve in the next 12 weeks. Point number 1, you see what I've done there? I circled it back around to the first tip of letting the family know your goals and a time frame and that it's important to you. So you see how these tips link? And this is why I said the advice I'm going to give in this video, it starts with the most important and all the advice links to each other. Tip number 3, get your own cupboard and keep all your ingredients in there only. That way you only look in one spot when cooking food and are less drawn in by temptations. So this one is going to need some cooperation with your family members. But this is what I done and it helped tremendously. Ask if you can have your own cupboard in the house, right? So your own cupboard, and in there, only your ingredients for your meals and your meal prep goes in there. This way, you're not opening up multiple different cupboards to get different items and seeing and getting drawn in by other temptations. This would happen with me when I would make my cream of rice. I had it kept in the cupboard, in one cupboard, and I'd open that up, and in that cupboard, there was biscuits, chocolates, and sweets, and I'd get tempted by those. But if I was able to successfully resist that temptation, then when I opened this other cupboard to get my pasta out because I was going to meal prep, there was a bunch of other temptations and sweets in there. So now I'm getting drawn by these different temptations. When I asked if we could clear out a cupboard, there was just one cupboard with a bunch of random nonsense in it. When I asked if we could clear that out and if I could have that as my own little shelf, my own little cupboard, I put all my ingredients, my cream of rice, my pasta, my peanut butter that I need to use, like everything in one cupboard. And that way, every time I go in the kitchen, I only go in there and that's it. I don't look anywhere else. I don't venture. I don't go searching. And I don't open up anywhere or anything that may draw me in to eat an unhealthy snack. So see if you can get your own cupboard and just keep all your ingredients in there. A upgraded version of this would be see if you can get your own fridge space. If maybe you can have one entire shelf of the fridge to you. I wasn't able to do that. But if you can, try that. Or if you can, this is a stretch and I don't, it's unlikely, but it's an idea. If you can get your own mini fridge. I know that's a bit of a task and it's quite a big ask, but if you've never considered it, well, here you are. I've planted the idea in your head. Now consider it. Ponder over it tonight when you go to sleep. See if you can get your own mini fridge, maybe keep it in your room or somewhere else, and you just keep all your fridge items just there so you're not tempted by anything else in the fridge. Tip number 4. Ask to make your own plate at dinner and weigh out your own food. If that means you're the last one to eat / make a plate, then that's a minor sacrifice you have to make for your goals. Remember, this diet is only temporary. Very simple. When it comes to eating dinner with the family, make your own plate. So make your own plate and weigh it out. And if that means you have to be the last one to make the food because you don't want to get in everyone else's way with your weighing scales and whatnot, then that's a very minor sacrifice. Like, you're just gonna have to do that, bro. So make your own plate. That way you can estimate your mum's cooking and dinner as closely as you can. Now, tip number 5, if you're eating dinner with a family in the evening, what you can do is all other meals during the day are made by you. So you meal prep and you prepare all the meals during the day, but then you have dinner with the family. That way you have some control over your diet. If you have 4 meals a day and you eat 3 made by you, in which you weigh out the food, you know the calories, you know the macros, then that's 75% of the meals. Very, very accurate. And only one of those 4 meals is a little bit of a guesstimate, a little bit of an inaccuracy. That's way better than just eating what your mom makes all day long or just eating what you randomly find. So if you can have a strict meal plan during the day, and then the evening there's a bit of variety with dinner and a little bit of fluctuation in calories from day to day, that's better than random calories in every single meal throughout the entire day. Now, building off this, point number 6 now, ask your family how they would feel if you were to eat your own food at meal times, aka dinner. Most people understand. Remind them that this is only temporary and for an important personal goal. So just ask the fam, be like, hey guys, how would you feel if at dinner times I just ate my own food? You know, I created my own meals, I meal prep them during the day and then just put them in the microwave when it comes to dinner time, and then we can all eat together, but I'll eat my own food. Most people are going to say yes. I'm not going to lie, you're not really going to experience that much pushback here unless you live in a very cultural family where you have to eat together. But even then, if you make point number 1 super clear to them, that this is a personal goal that's important to you and that's temporary, I'm sure your family who love you dearly will understand. So suggest the idea that you're going to eat your own meals at dinner time and you're not going to eat dinner with the family. You're not going to eat what your mom makes. Instead, you're going to eat your own meal plan. This is what I do. Or if this isn't possible, then do the previous step, which is eat your own meals during the day, but then have dinner with the family. Or, watch this now. Point number 8, this is what you can do. You can do alternating days of some days fully your meals. So you eat only the meals that you make and you meal prep. And then some other days you eat 3 of your meals and then dinner. This is literally what I do. I do 4 days a week where it's just all 4 of my meals. And then I do 3 days a week where it's 2 of my meals and dinner. So some days during the week I'm eating dinner with the family and I'm, part of the gang. Other days it's just fully my meals and my meal prep. So that's what you can do. You can do a little undulating schedule where it's like a couple of days during the week, dinner with the family. Other days during the week, strict meal plan of your meals that you made, that you weighed out, that you know the macros of. Now, if you do this, take tip number 9 into consideration. And that would be meal prep in off-peak hours. If you're going to be in the kitchen meal prepping, weighing out ingredients, batch cooking, don't do it in the morning when everyone else is asleep and you're making a bunch of noise with pots and pans. Don't do it in the morning when everyone is making breakfast, and don't do it at 6 p.m. when your mom's cooking dinner. Do it at off-peak hours. Do it when the kitchen's quiet, midday, when there's time. So you don't want to cause congestion, you don't want to get in people's way, and you don't want your family and people around you to resent you because of these new goals you now have, right? So make sure you're not in anyone's way. Make sure you meal prep in off-peak hours. Tip number 10 now, it's a very similar tip. Don't clog up the fridge or the cupboards with your meal prep ingredients. When you're buying all these healthy ingredients, only buy them for today or tomorrow, or the immediate use. Don't buy a fuckload of food and then put it all in the fridge and now you've clogged up the entire fridge and no one else can put their stuff in it. So only buy things that you're going to use today or tomorrow, and be conservative. Don't clog up the fridge, don't clog up the kitchen space. Make sure you wash up after yourself as well. Don't impose your fitness goals on people who aren't interested, right? So don't be putting a bunch of, don't fill out the fridge with a bunch of healthy foods that are very conducive and helpful towards your goals, but not towards anyone else's in the house. You got to share, you got to be considerate, and you don't want to create enemies. I mean, yeah, these are family members, they're not going to be your enemies, but you don't want them to sort of think like, nah, he's doing too much with these fat loss goals. No. You want them to be on your side and help you as much as possible. So don't overbuy ingredients, don't clog up the fridge, don't clog up the cupboards. Be mindful and conservative when you buy ingredients and use up space. To build off of that tip number, I don't even know what we're on, 10 or 11, I'm not sure, 10 I think. Share how your progress is going with your family. So let them know that, hey guys, I've lost 1.5 kilos in the last 10 days. Like, it's working, it's really working, and it's going well. Or conversely, share when it's not going well. I've personally shared many times when it's not going well with my mom. I've told her straight, like, Mom, I can't lie. Last night you were asleep, so obviously you wouldn't know, you didn't see it. But last night, late by night, I binged. I'm not gonna lie, I binged a little bit. I had a bit too much chocolate, or a bit too much biscuits, or a bit too much XYZ. And yeah, I don't feel the best about it now. And she gave me a bit of comforting, and she said, you know, thank you for telling me, like, now I understand, blah, blah, blah. But essentially, I was just sharing my journey. And when things are going well, I say to her, like, yeah, Mum, you know, the fat is coming off. I'm getting closer to my diet goals. Everything's going well. So share your success with your family. Get them in on it so that they don't forget what you're doing. Like, remember, their goals, your goals aren't theirs. And no one cares about these goals more than you do. And so there's a high chance that your family is going to forget that you have these goals, and they may revert back to their old ways of, you know, leaving snacks out and doing all these other things that aren't helpful towards your goal. And so if you're constantly sharing your journey with them and be like, hey guys, it's going well, then it will remind them, like, oh yeah, you know, he's trying to do these goals. Like, let's make sure we help him with these goals. Now, of course, don't impose your goals on them. Don't be like going to them every day like, hey guys, I'm down 0.1 kilos. I'm down 0.1 kilos. Like, you know, be sensible with it. Don't be a bastard and don't be annoying, but just, whoa, what the fuck just happened there? My mouth just spazzed. Just little reminders that things are going well, you're achieving your goal, and you're getting closer. And the last tip, and the absolute game changer: thank your family for understanding and helping. I said this to my mom last week. I said, Mom, thank you so much. I'm really happy and really grateful for the lack of snacks at home that you've been buying or not been buying. It's really helping my fat loss goals. I just told my mom straight up, I was like, Mom, there's not really been that many snacks recently for me to, you know, indulge in or for me to get tempted by, and that's all thanks down to you. So thank you for not buying us snacks, and thank you for helping me with my fat loss goals. I've only got 4 more weeks left of this, Mom, and then we can go back to, you know, old living. You know, you can indulge in your snacks and leave your dark chocolate out, because now I wouldn't be on this deficit. You get what I'm saying? So be very, very grateful, and whenever your family do something that helps you towards your fat loss goals, thank them for it. Thank them for it and be grateful and say, thank you, sis. That's really helpful of you to not buy me that brownie when you got the rest of the family brownies, or something like that. Be grateful. Remind them that you're still in this, you're in this phase, you're trying your best, and you want to get as many of them on your side as possible. So these have been my 4 tips for achieving your diet goals and your fat loss goals, and ultimately your physique goals while living at home with other people, in which you have to share space, you have to share food, blah, blah, blah. So if any of these tips have helped you, let me know which ones helped you the most. As you guys have seen, I've done the transformation, and I'm in the process of doing a transformation while living at home. So I know this better than anyone else. So like I always say, if you need more help with this type of stuff, or if you found any value from this video, hit me up on Instagram, where you can also see my coaching testimonials. So you can see how I've successfully coached other guys for fat loss, weight loss, sticking to their diet, a bunch of guys that live at home as well. So if you are interested in my help on a more personal level, follow me on Instagram, shoot me a message there, or book a free call with me down below. Completely free. We can hop on a call, just chat, let me help you. With that said, if I'm on your screen right now, then I've kept your interest somehow. Thank you for watching, bro. I'll catch you in the next one. Love, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff.